Intermediate Beasts Bestiary. Entry 10. Vampires. Arguably one of the most infamous and documented monstrosities in the realms. The first generations of these wicked beasts are theorized to come from one of two sources. Perhaps it was an overambitious wizard, toying with the magics of the negative energy plane, discovering a source of corruption so vile that it perpetuated an entire new races of creatures that feel one thing: hunger. Perhaps it was Orcus, the demon lord of the undead, rewarding his greatest servants and most terrible worshippers by granting them enhanced senses, immortality, and abilities beyond our initial understanding, at the cost of needing to sate their ever-growing hunger with mortal blood. Regardless, their vile reproduction through giving mortals their purified blood is what has allowed this monster to continue its rampage across the continents. Though found anywhere negative or necromantic energy is found, ranging from Thanatos, the realm of cemeteries in the abyss, to Pandemonium and the Shadowfell, as well as, of course, the prime material plane, vampiric beings are so prevalent that countless folklore pieces and historical records show that they are even more populous than ever before. One example is Orlak, proclaimed by his lesser vampiric brethren to be the Night King, was a warrior who ruled in secret over Westgate's underworld for centuries, bestowing the title King of Night to any who surpassed the previous. In the year of the Grey Mists, the sheer infestation of vampires and their thralls was so prevalent in the Merrydale that families were forced to kill each other, affected by the vampiric curse. Blood splattered across every inch of the city by the end, and unanimously the survivors changed the name permanently to Daggerdale, as this place has never seen a merry mood since. Most recently, of course, was a fear years ago in 1492 Dalla Reckoning, when the vampire Lord Cazador attempted a ritual granted by Mephistopheles to become the rarest and most powerful vampire form, an Ascendant. Of the 777 victims, Astarion and Cunene was a part of them, seeing as there are records of him alive and well after the absolute crisis of Baldur's Gate. It's surmised Cazador must have failed such ritual, fortunately. Although, like mind flayers, their cursed blood can affect creatures differently, like Yovel, a vampiric flump, and Glarendar Lophocles, a draconic vampire turned servant by a group of liches amidst the Second Sundering. The standard vampire comes in two forms. The Spawn, the first form of Bloodsucker, granted powerful regenerative abilities, the ability to use its newfound claws to climb vertical surfaces, and a revitalized strength at the cost of several weaknesses. They fortunately cannot create more vampires, and often serve as mere servants to their lord. An actual vampire wields a significantly larger arsenal, granted the ability to change into a bat or mist form, and finds itself truly immortal, regenerating its body in its coffin, should they be slain in battle. Most of these vampires have several spells at their disposal, specializing in charms and illusions to lure the unordained to their castles. Their bites and claws drain the very life force of any it strikes, and any slain under this drained effect will reawaken after death as a spawn and servant of their killer. Most of these creatures are also ancient, some achieving several hundred years of life where they master the arcane and martial skills that normally would take a lifetime. Spellcaster vampires have been recorded to use Dominate Person, Bestow Curse, Animate Dead, and countless others at their disposal. Vampiric warriors will often imbue part of their malicious corruption into their weapon, making a sentient, bloodlusting blade that can extract the very life force of any it strikes. It matters not what they specialize in so much as you, the adventurer, should understand that any powerful vampire has grown wise, and usually has developed a skill set of luring, demoralizing, and tactical genius to use its surroundings and vile lair to its every advantage. There are several methods to both locate the lair of a vampire and to sway the fight in your favor. The spawns will be found in the taverns, the bars, and the casinos, flirting and charming their way to lure victims to their master. Enjoying the finer things in life, loving the lavish and decadent lifestyle of lords, and having several lifetimes to accumulate wealth, most full-blood vampires live in grand manors and castles, such as the castle of Strad von Zarovich, in the domain of the dread, Barovia. Their corruption oozes into the landscape itself, causing a massive upsurge of bats, rats, wolves, and vermin in the area, altering plants nearby, changing them into brambles and thorns. A fog seems to cling to everything nearby, and the shadows and fog itself, both will seem almost alive, taking shapes of claws and snakes, writhing at the corner of your eye. The vampire's dark desires are also a giveaway, altering love to a desperate obsession. Alliances become wrought with bitter jealousy, and all seek physical embodiments that represent how they see themselves, such as Gothic artwork, books, and the more evil of them will even collect trophies from their victims and torture devices. Luckily, these beings do have several weaknesses that make a prepared party more likely to walk away alive. Like the folktales speak of, they cannot enter a residence without permission from one person in the home, and running water will rapidly burn their own flesh. A stake to the heart will slay spawns and paralyze full-bloods, but only if stabbed while they rest in their resting place, usually a coffin. Sunlight and similar light-based spells can severely inhibit a vampire's use of spells and can cause significant damage to the creatures, forcing them to only conduct business indoors or at night. Garlic, from my own experience, has no effect on these bloodsuckers, so do not feel obliged to bring any to your next fight. In a fight, understand a vampire has lived for countless lives and will have no shame in turning to mist and retreating if they feel they are outmatched. And even if you slay one, it's best to find its coffin and destroy or guard it before engaging, lest it merely regenerates and will seek vengeance soon after. The more powerful vampire lords even have several resting places, making them incredibly difficult to truly destroy. Exercise extreme caution, study your particular target, find out if it serves a master above it, or if it has numerous resting sites, or if its goals and obsessions can be used to lure it into a trap of your own design. Should you stumble your way into the lair of a vampire unprepared, understand you now face a creature that can turn the lands itself into an extension of its malevolent will. Should your party fail, it does not mean death. You will join the ranks of the undead, cursed to do its bidding and serve your former foe for eternity, becoming naught more than another piece in their pursuit to expand their horrid dominion. Now that I conclude these entries for most creatures adventurers can face in the continent, I turn my sights instead to the astral sea, a realm between all realms, filled with planets and moons and creatures few will ever witness. A group of explorers has requested my expertise as we venture through the stars to seek out something far worse than any vampire. A colony of mind flayers, perhaps led by a lich, but despite the guaranteed peril, we still must see that such a place cannot continue to reside at our doorstep. Next you hear from me, I expect I will be at the bow of the spell-jamming ship, documenting any creature I see on my travels. Signed, Thane Marvale of the Exquisite Hunts.